Welcome to the world of heroes and villains. And apparently, Toei sees Sanji as a villain. Uh-oh. 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 Sanji fans, rise up. Rise up. Rise up. Stand proud. Stand proud. We agree that Sanji is getting shafted by Toei on a regular basis, and it is blasphemous. It is deplorable. It is despicable. It is inconceivable. What is it really? Is it really, or is it all just bait?
That's bait.
And a lot of Sanji fans are big fish, bluefin tuna, and there's Japanese hunters out there trying to reel us in for a nice, tasty snack. People, what happened? What happened? Well, obviously, whenever it involves Sanji and there's a big hubbub, for the most part, you're gonna see people look at who? Toei. Toei Animation. Oh my God, what could they have possibly have done out of Sanji? What deplorable activity have they done with Sanji in the latest episode of One Piece?
I am not drunk.
Listen. They gave Sanji the best animated scene in the episode. Here are the facts. Sanji has 4 very good moments in this arc. A lot of them aren't dedicated fights. In fact, in this arc, Sanji has no dedicated fight at all. But he has 4 epic moments that involve combat, based on the manga. Number 4 is the combo move that he takes part in with Julie Bonnie, aka Diet Nika, and Frankie when they combo with Luffy to send Marcus Mars packing. Number 3 is Sanji's kick on Itavinas Juro. He literally kicks him after bouncing off his blade, and then you see this man bleed, skull combusted. And mind you, no German powers on at all. Base Sanji. That was number 3. Number 2 is him face tanking S-Shark's punch right to the skull. Arms folded, boom. Hey, what's up? Yo, little Jinbei, have you ever heard of the power of love? Woo! Woo! That was the second best scene in Egghead Island for Sanji. That was incredible. When that happened, the hype for Sanji was on cloud 19 out of 20. When that happened, Sanji fans, we were eating good. We were eating real good. Because at that point in time, too, you had Zoro, and you had Luffy, and you had Rob Lucci, and you had Kaku. They were struggling with Seraphim. Meanwhile, Sanji, boom. Sup? Bring it. Bring it. That was delicious. And then, the number 1 scene that got Sanji fans hyped everywhere. That got Sanji fans just ablaze with the passion for the character, the passion of love, the power scale, the impact, the storytelling, is when Sanji kicks. He punts Kizaru's laser. Bonnie is saved. Kizaru's reaction. Oh! Vinsmoke Sanji. Yeah, that was the order of the best moments Sanji had on Egghead Island. And there's only one more we haven't seen yet, upcoming, the combo move. But the way things are right now in the anime, because Sanji doesn't have that many fight scenes, if really any at all, he only has like these high impact moments. It really does suck seeing that they're not getting the over the top crazy what the hell animation that you would normally see Sanji get on Wano Country. Wano Country, there are just too many scenes, even low-key scenes. him fighting Queen and King at the very same time, him going against Queen again 1v1, him fighting against Page 1, him fighting against King 1v1. There are so many really damn good animated scenes for Sanji, and then when you compare Egghead Island to Wano Country, it's damn near criminal how there is a huge difference here between the two. They went out of their way in Wano Country to clearly add extra fight scene content, and Sanji was a big recipient of that extra fight scene content. But on Egghead Island, they're not really going out of their way to add extra fight scene content for Sanji, which is a damn shame because they should be doing that. The opportunity is clearly there. It's obviously there. You just have to actually see it and seize it. You have to see it, and then seize it. Because Sanji has got only a few blips of good animation quality here and there on Egghead Island, right? For his key moments. And then the latest one being one of his key moments, and then you'd hope it'd be like, let's say some top tier stuff. But it really, in the grand scheme of things, wasn't, because we saw in the last episode, 1146, how good that was, where folks have been pointing out, I think a lot of the baiters are, honestly, a lot of the baiters. Twitter, the more likes you get, the more interactions you get, the more money you make. It is what it is, it's part of the game. But you see how they did Atlas justice last episode, where she has a random scene. Her random punch scene was better animated than the scene we get for Sanji in episode 1147, which might be the work of Yoichi Mitsui, might be the work of his, where, again, he does that crazy bounce off the sword, and then he kicks Ethan right in the chin. Even though the scene we get for Sanji last episode is, again, the best animated scene in the episode, because the entire episode as a whole is clearly not of the same standard as last episode, meaning in terms of directing, in terms of storyboarding, in terms of animation, you name it. The last episode was clearly an episode of focus from beginning to end. Whereas this episode for Sanji is clearly like a budget episode, where the episode, they were not really focusing on producing pristine quality for this episode at all. They were not. And then Sanji's scene, even though it's still the best scene in the episode, it's not stupendous. It's not like a 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. It's more like a 7 out of 10. Like, it's still very good, but not great by any measure. And then it seems like they forgot that Ethan's sword had hockey on it. At least in the manga it did, but in the anime you don't see the hockey on the sword, which is a detail that they did miss. I'm not gonna deny that, of course not. But damn, compared to last episode, yeah, Sanji's scene would be mid. And of course, compared to Zoro's scenes in this arc, Zoro's clearly gotten way better animated scenes in terms of fight scenes and extended fight scenes compared to Sanji. There are for sure moments where they could have absolutely extended Sanji's fight scenes out, but they chose not to. Whereas in Wano Country, they did. So obviously the eye of the directors has not been favoring Sanji for the most part of this arc, clearly. Whereas Wano Country, they were definitely giving Sanji a lot of love. And then, knowing that there's only one really major Sanji scene left for Sanji to be animated in is a bit dejecting, considering the missed opportunities for Sanji's extra fight scenes that they could have added in this arc so far. The picking and choosing is not favoring Sanji this arc. That is obvious. That's for sure obvious. Why?
I'm about to get racist.
I have no idea why. But at the same time, it's not bad at all. In terms of animation, the best scene we see for Sanji this arc has been the face tank of S-Shark's punch. That's for sure the Sanji's best scene in the entire arc so far. Maybe the combo scene to actually give Sanji some love, because at least you have Luffy involved in that too. So because Luffy's involved in that, they're gonna probably get Sanji get some love by proxy, where it's like, hey, we're going to remove Marcus Mars from the picture, so we gotta get the scene sauce. If we don't, that's a big fumble on their part if they don't get that scene sauce. And because Sanji's part of that scene, as well as Nikabani, or Diane Nikabani, and Frankie, who maybe used hockey at that point in time too, then they need to get that scene some sauce. They have to. And when I say real sauce, I mean sauce that's like comparable to Sanji face tanking S-Shark's punch, or Sanji kicking Kizaru's laser. Preferably, I know a lot of Sanji's fans would really like to see someone like, let's say, Naoto Shishida, Akihiro Ota, or someone like Tu Young Se, or someone like Chris aka YMBM, or of course it's a Chansard to play a role in, let's say, an upcoming Sanji scene, the last major one in the entire arc. Last episode's scene of Sanji kicking Ethan in the chin was not as good for sure. Was nowhere near as good as those previous two scenes. But again, it's still the best animated scene of the episode. That is, I think, also an undeniable fact. You'd be tripping if you see otherwise, because most of the episode was pretty flat, it was pretty mediocre. And even though it's not necessarily a combat scene, they did extend it out a little bit, where Sanji beforehand can sense that Bonnie's in danger, and you do have him use his hockey to see where she's at. The only other scene that's like comparable is the scene where Saturn attacks the other Straw Hats, but that scene isn't as good as Sanji's scene. So all in all to say, I can understand why my fellow Sanji fans are once again pissed. And I would say more so, way more so than comparing Sanji to Zoro or Sanji to Luffy in terms of animated scenes where they had genuine fights in this arc, whereas Sanji really only had clashes or moments in this arc. But in the last arc, Sanji had a lot of sauce. The only time Sanji had really no sauce for an animated scene last arc, Wild Country, was when he fought against Queen and it was the Brachiocoilus episode. That episode was like very That episode for sure, they had like the CT. They didn't have the good directors, they didn't have the good storyboarders. That episode, the big boys and big girls took a day off, for sure. But even Sanji's small scenes, that arc of him just, let's say, dodging lasers, brother, oh my God. Most of those scenes were fire. Fire. Even moments like him saving Chopper Wild Country. Fire. 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 So listen, I can understand it because compared to Wild Country, yeah, not that great. I can only hope in the future because Toei's making a big change to where they're going to be going seasonal. That means that they're more consistent overall, which means more chances to get more Sanji love where he deserves it, and less chances to have the direction and the storyboarding and animation dip when there is a critical epic moment coming up for Sanji. Less odds for that happening in the future with the new seasonal One Piece anime changes. So let me know your stance on the subject matter at hand. If you enjoy your boys' video content, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click on that bell to join the notification squad. I'm gonna catch you guys and gals on the flip side.
See you. Bye bye.